Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Summer. So in this video, I'm going to talk about this story. People want to know my opinion about it. And if you don't know, I have been sharing my Jakpada story. Jakpada is basically about Jakpa is to leave the country, emigrate. Jakpada is to emigrate back, if that makes sense, is to return back, to Nigeria. So people want to know my opinion about this story, and if a lot of you notice, you would notice that my content has changed, and there are a lot of things I'm not interested in talking about. There are so many things that don't interest me anymore and stuff like that. I have nothing against those that still discuss such topics. Everybody is at a different stage in their lives, but this particular one, I guess because I'm someone that, I've shared Jakpata story, life in Nigeria. So I think people sometimes want to hear my perspective on things happening in Nigeria. So basically it's a story about when I went and I checked it. From what I understand, those of you that may have heard about the story, maybe if there's anything there, correct me. But this is what I saw. I had to go check it out. Basically, there's a content creator. Her name is called Nancy. And then there's a video where her father returned back from Nigeria after visiting the sister abroad. And then when the father returned, the driver was sent to go pick up her father, and then returned back almost, I think, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe a few minutes to 1 or something like that. So it was midnight anyways. Returned the father from the airport, and then what is causing the hoopla is that she told the driver to sleep in the car till the morning.
No one. I will see you.
Where you go? Where you go?
No, sir.
You won't go as by after 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Office go after.
What keep the house, the car here? Because when daddy they go as no if we carry load for this motor with all our 20 bucks. You know, say we even carry water go. But I want to make you stay till morning. Maybe you go sleep for motor. Don't chop first of all.
Yes, ma'am. No, never chop.
You don't chop.
You never chop. No chop.
You should sleep for motor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go. Or if you just honestly, if you get just sleep, you know, go there before the morning go reach.
The money don't reach already.
But I don't want me to go this night though, because I get plenty load. Maybe they won't disconnect my inverter, may carry it.
Okay. Now you go drink cook.
No, I go bring something for you to chop. Sorry, welcome.
Thank you.
Because the driver wanted to go, and going means, okay, I want to get this part right. It's like they have another house somewhere and they have another house somewhere else. So this driver came to this new house, and then in this new house, what's it called? The driver was then returning back to the other house. Then she said to him, no, she doesn't want him returning to the other house. So apparently the other house is where the driver lives, according to what she explained, that they have their workers' quarters. I can't remember the exact word, but like people that work for them, domestic staff quarters there. So the driver wanted to go back, and she said to him, no, you can't go back there tonight. There are some things I want you to do first thing in the morning. Then in another video, because I had to make sure I'm following everything, she explained that she didn't want that car to be driven at night in case the car gets robbed or stolen or stuff like that. So the hoopla is that she told the driver to sleep in the car, and apparently she has made it clear somehow in the videos. From the comments I saw, is like she's made it clear that the house is a 4-bedroom house. So the the uproar is the word I'm looking for, is that how can you be in a 4-bedroom house and the driver is sleeping in a car overnight? Why couldn't you fit the guy, give him place to stay, and there should be a place for him to stay. At least he could have even slept in the sitting room. Some people say he could have stayed in a hotel, and all of that. Because one thing I have to say is, if a story is brought to you and you look into it, it's good to grab all the information from left, right, and center. I read some of the comments to get an understanding of what was going on. So some people are saying, okay, why didn't he Why didn't they could have let him sleep in the sitting room? The woman is saying, no, he can't sleep in the sitting room. My children are in this house. I don't want anything to happen to my children. And, this is how such and such and crime can happen and stuff. Guys, listen, this is my opinion I'm going to share about this at the end of the day. I keep telling people, when I say it, I think people just hear it for ear. They know they hear them for their mind and their hearts. This is my second life. You understand? Like, I see life so differently now than before. Not a lot different, but like, I'm focusing on the differences. There are a lot of differences I knew before, but I think I focus more now on how I see life, right? Okay, now she is saying, no, so many crime going on. People, some comments are like, okay, so you don't trust him with your children, but he's the driver that drives, your children to school and drive them back, drives your whole family. If he wants to do anything, he could have done it any other time. And then there's a comment I saw that said, that is somebody's husband, somebody's father. Why should he sleep in the car? So these are some of the comments that are still kind of like against what they saw in the video. This comment said, the issue came up because you asked your driver to sleep in the car after bringing your father home late. If he had not worked late, he would have been able to go home at the right time after work. The expectation is not for him to sleep in your house, but not in the car. I think it evoked some level of empathy from people. Another one said, he is your driver and you do not trust him with your life. This one says, if you don't want a stranger to sleep in your house, please don't keep them late or give them reasons to feel you don't have empathy. This other comment says, whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. When I was homeless, did you open your door? If I were you with trust issues, I will get out of my comfort zone for the remaining of the night. I will share my room with my kids and let the poor man sleep over. No parent can fix her eyes on her children 24/7. We only do our best and God takes control. This one says, I understand you, auntie. You have the right to protect your family, but you should also treat your workers like family. In your video, that man insisted on driving back. You and your dad convinced him to sleep over, only for him to sleep in the car. It's not fair, too. That could be someone's father and husband as well. It is well. And this comment says, in my opinion, don't do what you don't want anybody to do to you or your loved ones. Let's be nice to those who work for us. If you care about that man, you should have looked for the nearest hotel for him to sleep. You were protecting your children and your car. I don't get it. That man is a human being. What if something happened to him while sleeping in the car at night? Honestly, you won't even come here saying anything. You will regret why you allowed him to sleep in the car. I have 2 children and I totally get you. But also think about the safety of that man. Everything no be me, and my children and my family. You could have not said it that you want the man to sleep in the car. I know you had good intentions, but sincerely, is the car even safe for him to sleep? If, God forbid, that man died inside the car, wouldn't you wish he came inside to sleep? You don't trust him to sleep in your house, but you trust him to drive you guys. See, finally, now this God to protect. Be careful as humans, but just commit everything to God's hand. This one says, Auntie, I saw that video. I'm not okay too with telling him to sleep in the car. If you don't trust him, then why is he working for you? He wanted to go. You said he shouldn't. He has his family too. Let him go home to rest. Yes, you are protecting your family, but make him comfortable too, not strangers, your worker. I think let me say this now. This is where my own opinion is coming in, because in case I forget it, that's what people don't realize. Sometimes I say this and I go, so people are like, oh, somehow you're jumping up and down, because if I not talk one, I feel forget. Now the forget I don't old. Okay, so let me say this part in case I forget it. In that video, the first thing I saw is that when she said it, the driver didn't react like, sleep inside car, no. Her father didn't say like, no, why would he sleep in the car? There was no reaction from the people that were there as if it was a big deal. So for me, it tells me that is the norm. It's normal for them. And if this may be the life, or this may be the life, don't forget that you don't know what the contract is that they signed. You understand? You don't know the kind of contract that this driver signed for this job. Hear me out. Please hear me out. Right? So maybe that's the norm, that he's never allowed, to come in because she said it so easily. It was not hard for her to say. So that may be their standard from day one. And you don't know what contract somebody has signed for a job. You don't know whatever. You understand? So that is one thing that I noticed is the way it was said so casually. Like it's the normal thing. That's one. Another thing, or the biggest thing that I saw in that video was I saw two fathers, right? Two fathers. One father, life has brought him, whatever way life has brought him in a position where, you know, he has children that can send a driver to come and pick him up from the airport. That's it. Let's be honest with ourselves. One father at a different level where he is the one that gets picked up from the airport. They are at that level in life. But the other father is a father that is at a position in life where he is working. How do I put it now? He is the father. Okay, two fathers. One father is being picked up from the airport because life brought him, or whatever you want to say, he's at a different position in life. While the other father is the picker. Picker, that's bad English. That's bad English. How would I say? The other father is at a position in life where he is not that father that is going to be picked up from the airport. He is the father that is in the position where his services are needed for this other father. Two fathers in that video, but in different positions in life. I want to, or what I focus on is, I've always been like that, but let me emphasize, right? Focusing on the message. I've always said it in my videos. What is the message there to take home? All these basketballs, but there's no need. The other the most people can do is go and look for that driver and start raising funds for him, GoFundMe, whatever, donation. That's the maximum. Ask yourself in every situation, what can you do about it? If there's nothing you can do, you understand, it's a waste of time. Focus on what you can do. And then I always talk about, watch my videos. Ask yourself, what is the message there for you? For me, the message that was there is this. Work hard though. For this life, make you work hard. Make your papa no sleep inside motor as somebody's driver. It's as simple as that. That is it. Let's be honest with ourselves. You understand? That is his job as a driver. Whatever contract he has signed, that's what it is. Whatever it is, that is his job. Unfortunately, that is his job. He is in that position. The other father gets to, I bet you there was a room prepared for him to sleep in. Fresh bed and everything. Welcomed him. Because his children are doing well. You understand? Or you can say a man is doing well or his children are doing well. But the other father is at a different position. This life, especially in a society like Nigeria, the gap between the rich and the poor is massive. Right? Because let me tell you guys, the Western society that I have lived for over 2 decades, people don't have drivers. Because the way it's done is that the driver's salary is going to be equivalent to your equivalent to your salary or even more. There are some rides that you would take. For example, the distance between the airport, if I take a taxi from the airport to my house, right, it's going to cost me about 60, 70. Depending on if it's night, if it's weekend, because their rates are different. By the time I'm talking about, when you convert it to Naira, that's about maybe 120,000 Naira that you will pay for how many minutes for a ride from the airport. So that driver, no matter who you are, I'm just talking about Nigerian society, how it's different. And we have to accept the fact that that is what it is. The driver that came to pick you up, no matter how rich you are, whatever, he's making that amount of money, not even up to an hour, he's making that kind of money. He's making that kind of money like that. I've always wondered in my head, like, how it works, because someone that has lived abroad for a long time, then when you look at Nigeria, I'm trying to understand how does it work out like that. Labor is cheap in Nigeria. It's very cheap, right? It's very, very cheap. The gap, like I said, between the rich and the poor is massive. Society whereby a taxi man is making $70, depending on the distance, right? Let's say a ride of 30 minutes, depending on time of the day, right? He's not going to be a poor man. There are some taxis that will turn up. You look at the taxi, you look yourself, you say, hey, in the abroad, though, Taxis that are brand new. There's some taxi drivers that are driving better cars than a lot of their passengers. They have, do you know how much taxi drivers make? I'm just using it to show you how labor is cheap in Nigeria, and it's poverty that put people in this position. So let's not derail from the fact of the whole thing. She has expressed why she doesn't feel safe, although I feel like, you know, she replied to people when they were coming for her about it. She replied, and there were a lot of things she said that she shouldn't have said. So some things like, I don't care, he can sleep under the bridge if he likes, or something like that. I don't care. I personally feel like those were insensitive words. Like, she's saying about her concern, I have children in the house. There are other options, though, but it's her life, is his job, is whatever, is the way they are doing it. But for example, if his safety issues could have been, okay, the parents could have slept with the children, or one parent sleep with one child, another parent sleep with another child, their father sleep in one room, and then the driver can stay in one room just for the night. I'm not going to come here and tell people what to do with their lives. I'm just saying there are other options. Even in the comments, people are saying you could have done this one, you could have stayed here, or you could have stayed there. At the end of the day, we are not going to be there to dictate the dynamics of the employer versus employee relationship. They know what contract is, they know what is normal to them and all of that. But I'm going back to picking out the message. Oh, sorry, I forgot that. I was saying that there's some things she said that now came across as insensitive, and, you know, I felt like she should have come and say, oh, this is how we do it, it's not a big deal, whatever the situation is. But things like saying he can sleep in the car, no, he can sleep under the bridge, I don't care. And things like, I don't want a stranger in my house, because then people are like, okay, how is this? Let me tell you, let's be honest. If that man's family and friends should watch that video, the man's face was in the video. If his children should watch it, how will it make them feel? You know, when you talk about being sensitive to other people, you understand? I felt like there are a lot of ways she could have addressed it that could have sounded better. You understand? Although some people are saying you could have gotten him, you could have put him in a hotel for the night or whatever. This, you know, man of his age should not be sleeping in the car. It's not right. He's a human being. And on the other hand as well, let's actually be honest. If it is dangerous for the car to be driven at night, you understand? But the same car brought her father in at night. So it's the same danger than him driving to where he can sleep well. There was something else, you know, where she said, no, you can't go because there are some things I want you to do in the morning. You understand? So people are now saying, okay, you did let him go because you didn't want him to go because there are some things you want him to do for you in the morning, because that was what she said in the first video. It was later on she started saying, I didn't let him go, like to go to where he can actually lie on the bed and sleep. It's because they could have stolen my car, they could have this, that. But the thing is, if they could steal the car, for him to go home, they could have also stolen the car for him to have brought her father home. So, but leave all of that aside. I believe that the big message there is this: in this life, do well, so that you will not be at a position. You understand? Because let me tell you, you know, equality and all these things between the rich and the poor in Nigeria is basically impossible. I'm telling you the truth. You know, I can speak because, you understand, somebody like me that has Japa that can speak because I see it. I see it everywhere. You understand? There's so much poverty in the country. The driver will be happy that he even has a job. That is the fact of it. Right? And let me tell you, if that driver was doing well as a man, he will not be in that position. So the message at the end of the day is do well in life, so that you can be at that level where they come collect for airport. I mean, what do you want me to say? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because Western society, people, there's no driver they got. No, everybody, you go and collect your own father by yourself, or your father will take a taxi or Uber or Bolt, whatever you want to call it, whatever. Is a different society. I don't want to ramble too much. Basically, my message is this: when things happen, don't go on with the bass balls or whatever. There's nothing you can change about people, how they live their lives. Always bear that in mind. Ask yourself, like I said, if or else people want to find the man and raise money, so okay, yeah, there's something you can actually do about it, but there's nothing you can do. Take the messages you can get out of it. And the message, like I said in this video, the biggest message is this: do well, make your papa no sleep inside car. Like I said in that video, you see two fathers. Think about them driving when they were driving home, or where the driver was driving the father was driving the father home, right? There were two men, two fathers, but two different lives. It all boils down to money and being successful. Let that be a motivation for anybody watching this to say, I go do well. Be determined to do well. So this is how I feel about it. As always, that's my opinion. And as always, whatever your opinions are, please leave them in the comment section below. With that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys. Bye-bye.